Hi there, this is Pet Beaks with another video. I'm going to be doing this one on a dark Jersey beat, kind of like the new type of drill beat that most people are doing. Basically just like what you'd hear in like a dark drill song, so like a Pop Smoke song, that type of melody but with like hard Jersey drums. Yeah, it's been popping off quite a lot this year, so it's been really fun making these type of beats. I've got them on my second channel if you want to check them out. I'll link this one below as well. But let's start off by listening to the beat. Yeah, that's the beat, what it sounds like in full, and I'll be going through how I pieced that together. So the first thing I started off with was just a dark piano. It's quite easy to start off beats, I find, if you just start by using a piano. You don't have to like continue using it throughout the same beat. Like, you can change the instrument, but it's probably one of the easiest instruments to start with. But you know, with this being like a dark drill beat, dark piano works quite well. So it's just some simple chords, like some sevenths here, and I've just copied the octave below. There's not too much going on here, and then there's some extra notes on the top line, just gives it a bit more atmosphere to it. So yeah, it sounds quite dark already. All I added to it was just an EQ taking some of the harsh lows out, and a bit of reverb to make it sound a bit wider than it is. That sounds like this now. Filling up the space a bit with the reverb. What you want to do with these beats really is like find some type of like atmosphere or texture, especially if you just got like a simple piano melody to start off. It can like help create a bit more of a soundscape. So I've just started using Expand 2, but it's got a lot of good presets in it and like textures and stuff. So you'll see this is in percussion under frozen drums, and I've not really done anything to it apart from take off the wind chimes. So it's just actually tablas, and yeah, I just made this pattern out of it. Yeah, it's just quite like ethnic drums, I guess, and you'll hear a lot in like these dark drill beats and Jersey beats. There's a lot of like ethnic sounds used all the time, so yeah, I thought that added nicely to the piano. So I'll just show you what that sounds like together. Like I say, it just helps create the soundscape to start with. Next I found this texture. I didn't really add anything to it, I just thought when I pasted it in, it just sort of suited the vibe already. That sounds like this on its own. You can hear I've got it very quiet in the mix, but it's like almost alien-ish. And then the next thing I added in terms of melodies was this violin, because a lot of times in my beats I'll match like a string or like a violin if I'm already using a piano, because I think they work quite well with each other as instruments. So all that is, it's just the same two notes, but I've not got the extra octave that I had in the piano or the extra higher notes. So yeah, that sounds like this. It sounds quite orchestral already. So I just added an EQ, taking out some of the lows, a bit of delay on it, so that like the delay's making it so the violin's sort of like playing into itself. You'll hear what I mean when you hear it. Yeah, that's it for that. So that sounds like this. So yeah, now you can hear it sounds a bit more full than it was before, and a bit less muddy. So yeah, that with everything, that sounds like this. So you'll be able to hear now it's a lot more full than when we just started off with the piano. And yeah, we basically just created like a mini soundscape there. So I knew by this point that I'd got most of what I wanted for the melody, and all I did lastly was just add in this lead, like whirry lead, when it comes in the hook. I just thought it sounded really cool with everything, so that sounds like this. Yeah, so it sounds quite spacey and alien like that texture did earlier, and I guess it was influenced by that a bit. And you'll hear with the drums and everything, it makes it stand out a bit more than like if it was like just another string. So that's just got a bandpass on here, just taking some of the highs and lows out so it's not interfering with that violin and the piano. And again, a little bit of delay on it, just widens it out. So that sounds like this. Yeah, it even sounds like a bit flangier now. But yeah, it sounds really cool as it is there. For the kick, it's just a simple Jersey pattern with like a few extra notes there in the third bar each time. That's just got a normal soft clipper on it, make it even punchier. We've got this snare, sort of like a clap, but also a snare. So yeah, this is just like the usual like drill or Jersey pattern that we've got here. And it's just got a little bit of delay and reverb, maybe a bit more than usual, because I wanted it to be a bit spacier like I've got with the melody sounds. So that now sounds like this. So the next thing we've got is this hi-hat. It's quite a thin hi-hat because I wanted it to contrast with the other harder drums. That just sounds like this. It's a fairly simple pattern. With a bit of reverb on it too. Next, what I like to do in my Jersey beats a lot is add in a shaker after the first hi-hats come in. Because when you've got like a hi-hat pattern that's like a bit spaced out like that last one is, but then you add like a two-step shaker in it, it really creates like another groove to it. Yeah, that sounds like this. And I panned the notes here as well, randomly panned them. And this has just got a bit of delay on it. It's pretty standard for most like shaker loops. It just creates a bit more groove if like, rather than just it two-stepping all the time. That's without, and then that's with. It's like there's more hi-hats going on. So the 808's just very similar to the kick pattern, but there's not too much going on here in terms of like the way the notes are changing. It's a pretty up and down pattern. Yeah, but that sounds like this. Yeah, so it's quite a distorted 808 already. Not too distorted though, so I did add quite a few effects to it. So I've got this EQ taking out some of the highs as usual. I've got a bit of distortion on it, So this is without the distortion, and then with, and the next distortion as well. It's a lot fuzzier, a lot more distorted now, even grittier. And all I did then was add a bit of compression just to calm it down in the mix. Yeah, and next I'll just show all the sidechaining. So I'll show the 808 sidechain with the kick first. It's a very important part of beats like these, because you want the kick to still punch through. So that sounds like this. It's taking a bit of the energy out of the 808. Very bouncy. Yeah, so next, before I go through all the extra drums, I'll just go through this vocal chant that I've got. I thought it sounded quite weird at first, so I wasn't sure about it, but I often find that usually if that's the case, like if I'm a bit unsure about it but I still like it in the beat, then usually it often works in my favour, and it works quite well. So that just sounds like this on its own. I think it's saying like nah, but it's quite weird. It sounds like dark R&B, I guess. But I think when I played it through Splice at the same time as the beat, something about it just worked perfectly. So I've just taken out some of the heavy lows there, and I made it a bit wider with this plugin. There's 150% stereo width on it, so that now sounds like this. A lot wider. With everything else that sounds like this now. So the final drum pattern I've got is just this slap perk. It's just like a roll at the end of the bar when it comes in. So that just sounds like this. I've got them panned as well, like a normal snare roll. Next I've got this other vocal loop, because I wanted a bit even more like energy to come in the hook when the 808's hitting and everything. So that sounds like this. Yeah, it's like a breathing loop. You'll hear that a lot in these type of beats. I don't know, it just gives it like a different kind of vibe to it. But it's like almost like scary when you're listening to it. It's really good. So I've got like a band pass on here, and I've taken some lows out with this EQ as well. There's some delay on it and a lot of reverb on it. I just wanted it to sound like really spacey compared to what it sounded like. So that now sounds like this. Like even breathier. But with everything, that sounds like this now. I've also got another alien effect. It's from the same pack, same guy. Yeah, that just sounds like this. I don't know, I just thought it sounded cool as a riser when it comes in each time. So yeah, that's pretty much how full the beat is during the hook. All there is just some like extra gun sounds. What else is there? There's like this whip I've got coming in. More whips. More guns. Yeah, this gun sound, it's very signature. These type of effects are used a lot in these beats. Last thing, I got like this, like I think it's a low pass filter. It sort of like drops out in like the last hook here. It's just like another switch up to it, because you see everything's taken out and it slowly comes back in again like it did first of all. But yeah, that sounds like this with everything. yeah, I just thought that was like an interesting effect I did in the last part. Keeps you listening until the end. So finally we've got the sidechain with the lead, which I mentioned earlier. It's basically just taking out some of the lows in the lead if there's any coming through, just to make sure that the 808's punching through when everything else is like going off. So you'll hear first the 808's not playing, and then you'll hear it come in. Yeah, you'll hear it's taking a bit of that lower energy out here. Just an extra little thing that I added in to make sure that everything's coming through in the mix. But yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and let me know if you want more of these beats, because I think I've got quite a few of them over on that other channel. And I'll link that channel as well as this beat. But if you enjoyed, leave a comment, let me know what other type of beats you want me to go through, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.